Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Tonight, we are running a one-shot, The Good Boys. It was written by Sean Little, and I have altered it just a bit. This will be version 3. But before we begin, we have 2 new patrons. Michael Root has pledged $10 a month to our club, and Max Meltzer, one of our frequent players, has pledged $5 a month. Into the Darkness does not monetize its videos on YouTube. Any advertisements that may appear are from the creators of the music we sometimes use. Our only support comes from our wonderful patrons. Without them, we couldn't produce and publish so many shows. That being said, once again, thank you, Michael and Max, for your generosity. And now, without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. It's late, October 1951. It's about 10:30 at night, and the full moon is slowly rising past the treetops. 3 men stand in a grove of trees on the edge of a parking lot in the small town of Bailey, Maine. They were told where to find the man. They were told that he was not what he appeared to be. "Make sure of it, boys," old Father O'Leary had told them. "I can absolve you of the sin of killing a monster without alerting the authorities, but make a mistake and kill some innocent soul, and there'll be hell to pay." These 3 men were part of a secret organization within the Catholic Church called Magna Mater. Their identities had been obscured. They were ghosts, and their purpose was to hunt monsters. The moon was climbing to its zenith when the old man appeared. His name was Cleveland Franco. He was dressed in rags and pushing a shopping cart filled with junk. He was heading to a small stairwell that he used to shelter himself from the cold wind. The boys could feel the tension rise in their muscles. As they waited, they prayed for clarity. The monster's transformation would come soon, and the hunt would begin. So you guys are about maybe 100, 150 feet from where this man is climbing down into the stairwell at the back of a building. He's put his shopping cart there. And what do you guys do?
Is it our protocol to wait for the monster to come out, as it were, or does that not matter?
You want to make sure.
Okay. All right.
Michael, why don't you stay out of sight?
All right.
You remember you're all dressed in black, so you really can't be seen very well at all.
What do you think, Denny? You want to move in?
Yeah, let's take a walk a little closer.
There are lights in the parking lot that are shining down.
Casual like.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have Michael split off, and if there's trouble, he'll be behind him.
All right. As you are walking across the parking lot, the man seems to be fiddling with some of the things in his shopping cart and pulling them out and dragging them down the stairwell. There's a moment when he is sort of obscured from your view as he goes down towards the bottom of the stairwell. This is, just like a brick. It's in the floor, probably going to the basement of the building. And it's probably drops down about 10 feet. There's an iron railing going around 2 sides of it. And then the building itself is on the other side. How do you
I would like to close in to maintain vision, but I look at Hank before I do so.
Okay. In order to maintain seeing the guy, you would have to literally go right up to the edge and look down because he's moved down into the stairwell.
I will give it a minute, and then I will go to the stairwell.
Okay. You see him pop up a couple of times. He seems to be doing something down there. But eventually he's no longer visible. You can see that he's gone down below. You can still hear him, though. You can hear him moving stuff around. Tell me how you approach.
If I could approach literally just in a not crawling on the ground, but just as low as I can make my profile, and just minimum speed to just approach with the utmost caution.
Okay. Are you going to approach? So imagine it's a rectangle. Okay. One end is open, and then there's a railing around the other two sides, and then the building. So are you going to approach where the opening is, or where the railing is, the long side, the short side?
Probably the short side.
Okay. So the short side where the railing is. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you go running up there. How about Hank and Denny?
I'm going to go low and slow, and assuming that there is an entrance to the basement on the outside, there's probably an entrance to the basement on the inside of the building as well. Are there lights on the first floor?
No, this is 10:30 at night. And you're not certain whether he's even going into the building or not.
Okay, then I'll wait at the top of the railing.
Okay. And Hank?
I'm going to slowly, very slowly descend the stairs in a casual manner. Like,
Okay, so you're going to
if I
actually
ran
go
into
to
him,
where
it would
the
be
entrance to the
casual.
stairwell is.
sorry, what?
You're going to where the entrance to the
Yes.
stairwell is.
Yes.
Okay. So this is open to the outside. It's on the outside of the building. So as you come closer, what you see when you finally get up to where you can see down into the stairwell is he's doing something. It's like he's almost, building a nest the way an animal does. He's moving cardboard around, and he's getting it in place, and he looks, it reminds you very much of like a dog would do, the way a dog would make its little nest. The moon now is approaching, right overhead, and a few beams of light are starting to shine a little bit down into the stairwell and light it up. I'd like you all to do clarity rolls.
No.
I fumbled 100.
Oh my God.
Normal.
Okay. How'd you do, Hank?
That's a fail.
You also failed? All right. From your perspectives, he's kind of, you can see the tattered clothes and stuff that he's wearing. But Michael, when you look down from your angle, because you're at a different spot, he has way too much hair on his body. It's all of the places in his clothing where there's a hole or any sort of aperture. You can see large, thick black hair. And you start to notice that the shape of his face is changing in the moonlight, almost like, kind of what you'd expect a werewolf to be doing. He also seems to be growling. What do you guys do?
Hank, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
No. You're seeing
Something like, I don't think I've seen anything like this, but something like lycanthrope, like a werewolf thing.
That sounds like
Okay.
that's our sign to move in.
You got lucky. I got a 96. He didn't hear you say anything. He seems to be too preoccupied.
So I will approach him with my Garrett drawn.
Okay, so you're on the outside of the railing. Okay. Hank is coming. He's at the top of the stairs. So he's got direct access. And Danny, you're in between on the outside of the railing. You could climb over the railing. It's just 3 feet high.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. I mean, if that's what you want to do. And Michael, you can do the same if you want.
Yeah.
I'll sneak up with Michael. Can do
Mhm.
can coordinate.
I'd like to make room for them to take the front because the garrote seems to be a really good like opening strategy. So yeah,
Okay.
make room for Mike.
All
I
right.
take a knife that's this big out of
Got out my baton.
my coat.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Michael, you're going to make the first strike with your garrote. You're going to try to surprise him. All right. I would like you to do a stealth roll. In fact, you can all three do stealth rolls.
I'm going to spend some luck to pass. 14 luck.
I will too. I will
Okay.
too.
Would it make a difference to spend just 4 luck to make an extreme?
No.
Okay. It's a hard success.
Regular.
Regular.
So you're in position. You're like ready to spring, and you can now make your attack if you wish to. He hasn't noticed you.
Okay.
And now that you're much closer, Denny and Hank can once again do clarity rolls.
07 this time.
24. Yes, much better.
Okay. There's definitely there you're starting to notice an overwhelming sort of stench, like rotten death, coming off of the guy, and you start to notice the hair too. That in the moonlight that's increasing, that there's definitely this thing isn't human.
I failed my attack roll.
Okay. So Michael leaps forward to try and garrote the thing, and the thing turns around, and when it does, it has this horrifying sort of black wrinkled face with big dog fangs hanging out, and its eyes seem to be glowing almost yellow. It's startled by Michael, and it leaps back and then starts swinging its big prodigious claws at him. You guys are kind of outside that circle, and Michael's kind of blocking you, but you could probably get past him if you want. Michael, what do you do?
I will switch tactics and pull out my switchblade and just try to get it in the chest as best as I can.
Okay. So, well, it's trying to attack you, so you're trying to attack back?
Yes, attack back.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Uh, 1 point away from hitting. That's a miss.
Did you want to spend luck?
Oh, you can spend. Okay. Yes,
You
I
can
will.
spend luck. David got it wrong the other night. You can
Oh,
spend
got
luck
it.
on
Got it. Yes, I will spend 1 luck to hit.
Okay. So as it suddenly howls like a horrible beast, as you bring the knife across its, maybe you're aiming for its chest, its throat. It tries to hit you with its arm, but it doesn't quite connect. So you're not injured at all, but you definitely do some injury to it. What do you want to, how much damage do you do?
That is just 3.
Okay. So you cut it, and it tries to, it suddenly reacts in a frightened manner. It starts to try to climb out of the stairwell. It's going to try to leap up and get out the other way. What does Hank and Denny do?
I'd like to leap onto its back and start stabbing away.
Okay. Go ahead and do a brawl.
Okay. I got a hard.
Okay.
And if you'd like the damage, let me know.
Yeah, and Hank, what are you doing while he's doing that?
I'm gonna climb up. I feel like we're all too close, so I'm gonna climb back up in case he makes it over the railing.
Okay. What'd you do?
7.
7. All right. So you sort of jump onto its back. It already has 1 injury, and you start plunging your knife into its back. The thing howls, and you're almost afraid that somebody nearby might be able to hear, but you're actually in kind of a remote area. You saw lights in the distance, but those are probably too far. If you'd have fired your gun, somebody might have heard. But in this case, you plunge your knife in. The creature, it violently shakes. It tries to get away. It there's a last moment when it sort of looks up into Hank's face, who's up above, and it loses consciousness and it falls to the ground down below. You can see it's leaking kind of a black ichor instead of blood, and its face is distorted but kind of goes calm, and now it's there at the bottom of the stairwell, and twitching, but it's stopping its movements.
After the quarrel, Michael just rolls on his back, exhausted and breathing. And he's just he just has his eyes closed and he's on his back, holding his weapon at his side.
You're getting sloppy, my friend. I'm going to help you up.
Finish the job, gentlemen. For God's sake, it's not dead yet.
I'll stab him in the heart. Or actually, Michael.
I plunge my switchblade into its heart.
Okay. And it stops moving. The smell is really bad.
Never get used to that.
Now, what you've done in the past is you'll burn the body, but you don't necessarily have to do that. For some reason, it's your clarity that allows you to see these things. So the most that anybody will find is a dead homeless man. At least that's what they'll see. So it's up to you what you want to do. The back of this building is all brick too, so a fire in the stairwell won't start the building on fire.
Do we need a cleanup here?
I always lean towards
barrel,
one.
always, kind of frame it as the homeless man trying to keep warm at night. Accidents happen.
Yeah, he fell into it.
It makes
Yeah,
sense
we'll
to
clean
me.
up. Yeah.
All right. So are you going to hop back in your car? You've parked your car. You always park your car at a slightly remote location and then walk to the venue or wherever you're going to go. So your car is parked, like 1 block over next to the parking lot.
By the grace of God.
All right.
Indeed. Amen.
So you head back to the car. You feel kind of exhilarated because of the action. You get back in your car. These locations where you're sent to are not usually tremendously far, but sometimes it's the next state over. Sometimes it's the other end of Maine. In this case, it's about an 1.5-hour drive back to the monastery, which is located up in the woods in a fairly remote area. And in fact, it was an abandoned monastery, so it doesn't look like anybody's living there. You guys have kind of made it so that it looks dark and nobody comes there. It takes you an 1.5 hours or so to drive home. So it's close to midnight when you arrive back in the monastery compound. You get out of your car. You figure you can take care of your equipment in the morning. You go back inside, and once you open the door, you see, there are lights, but there are no electric lights. They're kerosene lamps. There's 1 or 2 of them. And you can see Father O'Leary. He's in a chair, probably waiting up for you. And he's asleep. So he's snoring away. And you notice that there are a couple of whiskey bottles. So he's been nipping at the whiskey. He's sitting in his chair.
I'll gently shake him.
What? Boys, you're back.
Yeah,
How did it
please.
go?
It's done.
It's very clean.
Thanks be to the Lord. None of you were injured? You're all okay?
The Lord is my refuge and my fortress.
You didn't leave any way to trace you back then?
No,
Cleaned up.
Father.
Excellent, boys. Well, There's some mulligan stew on the stove if you want to eat something. I don't know if you're hungry or not, and then you can head off to bed. And in the morning, I'm going to have to do some shopping, bring back some supplies. But I'm pretty tired. I've had a little bit too much, so I'm going to retire to my room.
Careful with the drink, Father. You know what they say, Matthew, about the unprofitable servant.
Oh, Matthew wasn't Irish, was he? And
I suppose not, Father.
He's kind of a plump fellow, so he gets up with a groan and good night, boys.
Night,
Good night,
Father.
Father.
Good night, Father.
He goes to his room and he closes the door. You guys wanted to?
I don't know about you two, but I could eat a bear. So I'll grab one of the whiskey bottles. Celebration?
Yeah,
Dinner?
we'll
Nice
celebrate.
No, I don't drink, but feel free.
Oh, go on, Mike. Some stew then? Come on.
Drink
I'll have
makes
some
it
stew.
easier.
All right. So you have some stew. You have a little whiskey, except for Michael, who just drinks water. The monastery's an interesting place. You realize that it's all for security, that you guys have to be invisible. Even in case one of you is actually caught. Somebody in the Catholic Church will probably rescue you, but you guys don't really have identities. And it's been that way for a long time. You can't even remember much. You didn't like the orphanage. It was pretty harsh, and you really didn't like the war. So you've tried to block most of that from your mind. But you do like hunting monsters and killing them. The mulligan stew's good. So the place is kind of sparse. Like I say, there's kerosene lamps. And it's semi-primitive. Your rooms are simple. Monks in monasteries usually live in pretty Spartan conditions. When you go into your rooms are literally so small, you can touch both walls with your hands. It's just basically a cot and a chair and a peg on the wall where you can hang your clothes. Is there anything you want to do this evening?
Michael Murphy sits wherever there's space and on the floor if there's nowhere else.
There's chairs and a table.
He goes through the beads of the rosary and kisses the carved Christ over and over again as he's going through each bead, and he's saying mumbling prayers.
Okay.
I'm also in deep prayer.
Okay.
I'm praying over a glass of whiskey. Hank is just watching the two of them at it.
Okay. So it gets later. It's about 1:00. You guys are exhausted. You left the monastery like early in the evening and drove for an hour and a half. Did your job and then drove back. So you're pretty tired. You've got some alcohol in you, at least some of you do. Doyle, you said your prayers. What do you do next? I assume you're going to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm going to head to bed.
All right.
Actually, before I go to bed, I'll do my evening exercise routine.
Okay.
So I keep myself in shape.
All
I
right.
will go to my room and carve a little tally in a hidden spot that I kind of hide behind a panel.
Okay. So, Hank, where exactly are you doing that?
This is in my bedroom. This would be in a private place.
So, say like on the edge of your bedstead, or
Yeah, we'll say like the headboard, if there is one, like maybe on the side that touches the wall, I'd kind of pull it away and
Okay.
carve another little tally.
you do an intelligence roll.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's an 06.
With the new mark that you've made, there are only 3 marks. at this point.
Mhm.
So you all go into your rooms and you go to bed. I'd like you all to do power rolls.
No, that's a fail.
Success.
A hard success.
Okay. Hard, regular,
Fail.
Okay. So Hank, as you drift off to sleep, you have a very odd sort of dream. It's not clear at all. It's like seen through a fishbowl that's foggy. So things seem distorted. Things don't seem clear. There's colors, there's light, but nothing really clear. You think that there is something above your head, sort of floating in the air. It seems to be balls of color, but they're not really distinct. And as you are experiencing this, something with multiple arms seems to come around your waist and to start crawling itself up onto your body. You can't see what it is, but it's kind of dark, maybe pink, and it startles you and you wake up, and it's morning coming in. It's a very strange dream. Michael, did you have the hard? Okay, Doyle. You have a dream where it has the same quality. I'll just say it has the same quality. It's very obscure. It's blurry. It seems like you're looking through some sort of like crystal ball. So everything is kind of wrapped around. You think that you're in a city somewhere. You think there are tall buildings, but they're very blurry. So it's more just rectangles of light going like this. And there's someone far up ahead that's moving towards you, but there's just blankness where any kind of features would be. And it kind of looks like some sort of bizarre monster mannequin thing as it's coming, and it's reaching out to grab a hold of you when you also wake up in the morning. Michael, you are in a room and it feels very claustrophobic. Once again, this strange blurriness is there. There are bodies all around you. They're upright, they're standing, but they're all completely featureless. It's almost as if there's no arms or legs. They're like pegs with bumps on the top of them. You see colors, but you don't see if there's hair. It almost seems like they're bowling pins all around you. And they're different colors and they're moving. And all of a sudden, there's something bright in the distance, and this flaming light starts moving towards you. And as it's moving towards your face, you also wake up and realize that something's very strange. You don't have a clue what any of that meant, any of you. But you wake up in the morning to the smell of bacon.
Michael has tears streaming down his face. He interprets the dream as the light is this redemptive figure that comes and dispels the evil. So he begins praying immediately as soon as he awakes. Just gratitude.
Okay. So as you guys get up and do your morning hygiene, you can smell bacon. Father O'Leary's in the kitchen. He's been cooking up your breakfast. Boys, come and get some breakfast.
Smells
Thank you,
delicious,
Father.
Father. Thank you.
Thank you, Father.
He's set the table. He's putting the food down. Well, boys, says we've got a lot to do today. I've got to run to town and get some supplies. I'd like you to clean the place up a bit while I'm gone. You know what they say, cleanliness is next to godliness.
It also says moderation in food and drink. Remember that as well.
Perhaps you'd like to stay in the monastery when we're all done with our jobs. Now, boys, you've earned your indulgences because of your work for the church. Says, but stay in the compound. We can't afford anybody to seeing you and figuring out where you're coming from. And he says, he starts cleaning up. You guys are eating. He sits down and eats with you. And he tends to kind of eat in silence, but he doesn't really care if you guys are chit-chatting.
Pass the coffee, please.
You go.
As I pass the coffee, I say, about last night, was anyone else a little troubled by that?
No, not at all.
Killing the homeless man, the werewolf. No.
Is
Monster.
your faith faltering, Michael?
No, not at all. Not at all. You're right. I need to find more resolve.
Now, Denny, stop pestering Michael. Let him eat his food. You guys,
Yes, Father.
you guys stop worrying about what you're doing and just focus on the moment at hand, which is cleaning the place up.
Of course, Father.
Now I'm going to be off. You can do the dishes. And he packs up. You guys have an old, well, it's the only car you have, but it's an old, I don't know, Chrysler. And it's black, of course. And he walks out to it and he gets in and you hear it start up and he drives out of the compound. So what are you guys going to do?
Michael will get right to the chores assigned.
Okay.
Michael's going to take care of it. I'm going to do my morning exercise routine.
Okay. What's your morning exercise routine?
I'm going to do a lot of push-ups, going to do some pull-ups on the door frame as well, toning my body for the future battles I must fight.
And Hank?
Now, knowing Mike is the most diligent of all of us, I'll help but move slowly, knowing that he'll do most of it.
Okay. So Denny, you have a routine that you follow to keep physically fit. But something interesting kind of happens this morning. You mentioned doing pull-ups from the door frame.
Yep.
But as you walk out of the kitchen area into kind of the living area, you can't exactly remember which door frame you usually use to do. I mean, any of them will do, but you're not sure if you do the one right outside the kitchen or if you do the one by the bedroom. Or...
It's strange. Maybe I'll ask. I'm going to ask Michael then. Hey, I'm having a little trouble remembering my routine. Do you know where I usually do my pull-ups?
Michael, you don't think you've ever observed Denny doing any kind of exercise routine?
What do you mean exercise routine, Denny?
Every morning and every evening, I do my exercise routine. What? I can't remember
Is this
where
an
I do it.
exercise of the faith, Denny?
No, it's one of the body. Okay, I'll ask Hank. I'll ask Hank. I'll let you do the cleaning. Hank, do you remember where I work out?
Hank, you've never seen him work out. I mean, he'll occasionally go outside and walk around the building and stuff like that. But you don't recall seeing him do any kind of physical exercise. I mean, obviously he's in good shape.
Right. But work out, Denny. You don't need to work out. Look at you. You're in good shape.
I always have to work out to prepare.
It's news to me if you do.
It's most troubling.
Denny,
I'll just pick a stop.
Denny, do an intelligence roll.
96. That's failure.
Okay. So 96 is failure. So you're kind of annoyed. You're kind of annoyed at both of them. Do they not pay any attention to what you're doing? And the phrase comes to you, you want to say, well, I just exercised yesterday right there. But you don't really remember exercising yesterday. And you suddenly find it difficult to remember the last time you actually exercised. 96, you can't quite remember the last time you ever exercised.
And it's just trying to remember exercising.
All right, your daily routine. Do you do
Right.
pull-ups and then sit-ups and except
That sounds right.
It sounds right at first, but then you're not quite sure. It feels very, you have a very strange feeling. Like,
I think I need to get some air, so I will take a walk around the monastery.
okay. Hank and Michael, you are doing the dishes.
Mhm.
After the dishes, you look around and, it should probably use some sweeping and some dusting. It's fairly dusty. The monastery is not huge, but it probably at its height had 20 or 30 monks in it. So, there's enough room for that many people. In this case, it's just the four of you, the three of you and Father O'Leary. There is an ice box, but it's the old-fashioned kind, since there's no electricity here. There's a stove, a working stove, which is gas, there's the hurricane lanterns. There's no real form of entertainment either. You might have a box of checkers, but there's no radio or television or anything like that. It was 1951. Television was just becoming a thing. There's also no books or magazines. You're living pretty monastically.
Right. Yeah.
And I should have said that your beds are basically planks with kind of like a soft foam rubber on top of them, but that's about it.
Tell you, Mike, you got to stop writing the old man about his vices. In his age, he deserves the indulgences.
If you say so.
I'm going to pick up a broom and
Okay.
kind of half-heartedly sweep the floor.
So, Denny, you're on the outside. You're walking around the monastery. The gardens are, of course, in really shabby shape. At some point, they were used to raise food for the monastery, but that hasn't happened in a long time. You guys have it feels like you've done a little bit of exploring. Just most of these are just long rooms with little rooms on either side with nothing in them. Maybe a desk here and there, but that's about it. And not even the kind with drawers, just, place to sit. It's in bad shape. It was probably abandoned 30 years ago. And it's maybe 15 minutes drive to get to the nearest little town, which is where Father O'Leary would be getting the groceries from.
All right.
But other than that, it's what you'd expect.
I'm taking in the fresh air.
Paint is peeling. Yeah, fresh air is good for you.
And I'm trying to remember some other memories. I'm worried about my memories.
What do you try to remember?
When we first came to the monastery.
Okay.
That's something I would remember, I'd hope.
Do a willpower roll.
Okay. And that's a 51 out of 65 pass.
Okay. You start concentrating on that, and something that sort of runs through your mind is, you can hear Father O'Leary, telling you boys not to worry about things, to focus on the moment, focus on what your mission is, and not to worry about anything else because it's not important. And so you kind of took that to heart, but now you find it difficult to remember exactly how long you've been here. You know that it happened sometime after the war.
I'm getting a little angry. Yeah.
Yeah, you find that your memory is you're having a little bit of problems with your memory. But the events of the last couple of days, you do remember quite clearly. You definitely remember last night like it was yesterday. And there was one about a week ago, which was this creature. It was almost insect-like that you guys attacked. It was hideous, and you killed it. And but before that, you've kind of blocked your memories. You've kind of maybe the scare of it, the trauma, the fear that you felt at first has caused you to create a mental block.
Okay.
Hank and Michael, you guys are cleaning up the place. I'd like you both to do spot hiddens.
That is a success.
Success as well. Normal.
Regular success.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So you guys are dusting. You guys are sweeping, cleaning up as you're walking around. And almost at the same time, it sort of occurs to you as you guys are cleaning, things feel familiar. You've been here, you think a while, but you just suddenly notice that, why aren't there more crosses? In fact, there aren't any crosses or anything like that on the wall. There's not a picture of Jesus or anything like that. Maybe they took them all, when they moved from the monastery. But yeah, you don't find anything like that.
Hank, has it ever come to your attention that as sparsely as this place is adorned, you don't have any reminders of Christ anywhere?
You read my mind, Mike. I was just thinking that myself. I could have sworn there were adornments. It feels like there's always been, right? When did they take those down? Maybe Denny's onto something. He seemed odd this morning.
Maybe we should find him.
That's a good idea.
Okay. You guys look outside and yeah, Denny's just, sort of wandering around. Maybe Denny's over by a tree that he's leaning up against. Breathing
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
leaning up
morning
against
air.
a tree. Eyes closed.
I'll go get him. Denny,
All right.
Denny.
Hank, can you remember that creature we fought last week?
Do I remember?
Yeah, the insect thing.
Yeah, a bug-like thing, yes?
How many have we killed?
I keep a tally. Let me go look. Mike and I were just talking about this. We can't. Has the monastery always been missing all of the religious iconography?
I can't remember.
It's the first time you've noticed.
I'm going to go look at my bed. This is very weird. Find out where my tally marks are.
All right.
Am I going with you? I'll go with you.
Yeah, come on. This is weird.
You find your marks, and there are only 3 marks.
All right. Wolfman, insect,
Insect.
and then
What was the first one?
I don't.
You think there was. Everybody do intelligence rolls.
No.
02.
A fail.
Okay. So Denny, you do distinctly remember there was this creature. It at first it looked like a rather tall gentleman, almost butler-like, like a butler at this estate. But once the jig was up, once it revealed itself to you, it was something that you kind of refer to as the imposter. It was this bizarre, white-faced, sharp-toothed thing that could mimic other people, and it was quite frightening. And you remember the look on its face was terrifying as you guys dispatched it, like it was going to try and mimic what you guys were.
Now, did any of these monsters get any hits on us?
Some of them managed to hit you, but you didn't get any wounds. You guys are pretty well armed, and the creatures didn't really have any clue that you were coming after them.
Okay. I'm starting to question my faith.
We've
Denny?
been here for years, right?
Then why is there only
Years.
3?
Whatever.
You remember fighting more than that? Mike,
No.
do you remember fighting more than that?
No, perhaps the Lord has seen fit to obscure that which might harm us out of its immense detrimental satanic weight.
You're telling me the Lord replaced the beds? Because Hank would have marked them all up.
You think Father's... Oh, he's not a prankster. Should we go look in his room? Maybe there's answers there.
You figure you've probably got about another hour before he'll get back from shopping.
I think we should.
Yeah. I'll ask for forgiveness and not permission.
I'm not trying to pry into the man's personal life. I just want to know what's going on with us. If there are answers about us.
Okay. So you go down the hallway. It's one of the doors in the hallway where your bedrooms are. There are no locks on the inside, so I mean, even your doors aren't locked. So you go up to his door, and it's, you just grab a hold of the handle and it opens. Inside his room is a bed, same as yours, just planks of wood with a foam mattress on it. His blanket is all rumpled at the foot of his bed. There's his little desk is there. The chair is pulled out, and there seem to be a couple of pieces of paper crumpled up on his desk. And what you're kind of surprised at is that he hasn't, cleaned his room, because you guys all have immaculate room. Your rooms are kept clean.
Bit hypocritical,
What do you
considering
wanna
he
do?
insists we keep this place tidy everywhere else, if you ask me.
Well,
I
at least
feel
we have
gu-
an excuse. We're cleaning his room.
Suppose you're right. I do begin cleaning the room.
Okay.
We're good boys.
Where do you clean? What do you do?
I want to just move everything into a place where it can be like in a cabinet or whatever sort of.
Okay. Yeah, there's no cabinets or anything. There's a bed, there's a desk with a chair. There's no drawers. There's a kerosene lamp, and there are pegs on the wall. On the wall, one of the pegs has, I guess, what you'd say, like alternative robe. He wears black robes. So
I
there's
just want to
another-
distinguish between trash and put the trash away, and then the stuff that it looks like you would want, I'll put onto his desk.
when you get to the trash, well, there's not much else in here. So when you get to the trash that's on his desk, it's rather colorful, shiny paper. Do you look at it? Do you uncrumple it?
Yes.
They're candy wrappers. You can't remember the last time you were allowed to have candy.
He is a man of no temperance.
Any left?
Nope. It's like a Milky Way bar or Three
Hmm.
Musketeers.
Rules for thee, but not for me, I suppose.
But the other two, are you guys also cleaning the room?
Yeah, I'm searching around for any secret compartments.
Do a spot hidden for me.
Yeah, I am as well.
I'm an expert. I got a hard.
Is a hard as well for me. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, like I say, there's very little in the room. There's no closets or anything like that.
Mhm.
There is a window, which can be opened. But as you guys are looking around the bed, you both notice just about the same time that there is something jammed between the bed, the wooden bed frame and the wall, sort of towards the end, like it's being hidden there. It's purple, like a purple piece of wood. You can't quite say, but there's writing on it. There's white writing on it.
Let's check that out.
What does that say? What does that say?
You
Yeah.
you put your fingers to the sides of it and lift on it, and it comes out in your hand. It is a small paperback novel.
Strangers on a Train by Patricia Highsmith. Like
Once
page
again,
through
you
it.
guys aren't allowed to read anything.
Right.
And this looks like a dime store novel. Circa 1 year ago. It's a new book, but it's well worn, like it's been read many, many times or read through.
I will say what's on all our minds. It appears as though our good father is not very observant of our monastic lifestyle.
Everybody do idea rolls.
Maybe he's the devil in disguise.
Pass.
I got an 08.
Hard.
So
Failure.
extreme.
That's hard.
Your relationship with the father, I mean, you have a lot of respect for him, but then again, you have a lot of respect for any priest. He's friendly and he's kind enough. He's very focused on the mission at hand. But he's also a human being, you know. He's never asked you to do anything that you would consider wrong or sinful, other than killing monsters. In fact, he's very adamant that you make sure that you don't hurt anyone who's not a monster. But Denny, it occurs to you that according to Catholic tradition, Catholic priests have to serve Mass every single day. And you can't remember the last time you've had a church service. There's definitely a chapel.
Let's ask for one tonight.
There's definitely a chapel on the.
Have we been inside the chapel? Do we
property.
remember having gone inside the
You
chapel?
don't.
Then let's check out the chapel then.
Yeah.
And maybe when the father comes home, we can ask for a mass before we go out for a hunt.
That's a good idea.
So, all right, you guys go over to the chapel. The chapel is locked, the door. But it's in disrepair. It wouldn't be that hard to jimmy the lock or to open the door. We'll say that without any trouble, we can manage to do that. Inside, it's, you know, the remnants of a Catholic church. The important things have been removed, probably taken by they're not going to leave a statue of Mary in the middle of nowhere. But it has been used in years. It's very dusty, and there's cobwebs and everything else. The one thing you got a really good one, Denny, that in remembering things, there are cases where a priest has something that he's done seriously wrong, and the Catholic Church will not allow him to do services. And they usually send him off someplace like to a monastery because, he molested kids or something like that. And they don't trust him with a congregation. So if he doesn't seem like he's the most perfect priest, he obviously drinks too much. You do occasionally hear him swear. And it might just be that he's gotten in trouble and this is his penance, that he has to take care of you on this project.
We're doing a lot of mental gymnastics to excuse this man.
To me, it's not what he should or shouldn't be doing regarding faith and promises. It's the fact that why don't we remember any of this?
I do not know, Hank.
So anyways, after another 15 minutes or so, you can hear the car coming up the drive. It pulls into its usual spot. The door opens and Father O'Leary gets out and walks over to the trunk. And he says, boys, help me bring in the groceries. We'll be having some nice cabbage tonight.
Yes, Father.
Benny, you're the planner. What do we do?
Now,
yes.
be careful about those, the eggs. We don't want to break any eggs. They cost a lot of money.
Let's ask for a mass tonight. Can we have a mass before our hunt tonight, Father? We need a little extra encouragement
Well, look, Denny, as you know, we have to fast before we do that. And we've already eaten today. So we'll
Tomorrow,
have to
then?
do that tomorrow, maybe after your mission. And he reaches in and pulls out an envelope. And he says, I've received your next mission. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But bring the groceries in. And he steps inside and he's like, oh, you did a good job cleaning. See,
Yes.
let's put this over here. And he starts putting away groceries as you guys are bringing them in.
Father, I want to ask you about your faith.
What are you talking about, Michael? Be careful with the wine.
I will, but I saw to it that I would clean your room, and inside I found
You went into my room. You invaded
Yes,
my
Father.
private space. What
Yes,
on
Father.
earth did you do that for?
I am sorry, Father, but
When did I ever give you permission to go into my room?
to be honest, I can't remember a lot of things. I can't remember if you didn't give me permission. I don't remember whether it was part of my duties.
Michael, you're worrying about nothing. Says,
But-
you're all special boys. You're my good boys. Now, fetch that there. Let's fix that for lunch. And we'll take a look at what our instructions are.
Who gave
Well,
you the
shouldn't we
mission?
be fasting, Father, if we're going to do mass tomorrow?
We don't have to fast until after midnight.
All right.
Who assigns you the missions to give to us, Father?
Now, Denny, you've asked me that before, and I told you I
I
can't.
don't remember.
I told you I cannot tell you. It's part of the whole organization. Now, he says that, but you do recall him slipping and saying something about Archbishop. But he was drunk when he said it. He says everything that we do has to remain a complete secret. If the authorities found out what we were doing, they wouldn't understand at all.
How much wine do we have?
There's a couple of bottles.
Maybe tonight, and I'll let Hank and Michael know.
Well,
can
this
make
this
him
mission,
drink.
it'll have to be after the mission because this one seems to be a pretty important one, and it's going to be quite a drive. You're going to be having to drive into New Hampshire. I'm sorry, no, you're going into Talwick. It's about 2.5 hours from here.
Okay.
So he starts fiddling with stuff, but he eventually makes you lunch. Do you guys want to say anything over lunch?
Father, I feel my resolve is wavering. I don't
Now,
understand.
why on earth would you think that your resolve was, after all these years, after all that we've been through together?
I have so much confusion. I don't know.
You just need to keep your center. You need to keep your focus. You need to remember why you're here. It'll all be over soon. We won't have to continue this forever. It's just until these missions are done. You know, the Catholic Church has a very good retirement policy for its servants.
I'm not worried about my retirement policy, Father.
You're going to end up on some tropical island somewhere, living on the beach, enjoying the good life, all thanks to the Catholic Church.
I'm worried about my immortal soul. What? We have so many questions.
Listen to me, Michael. As long as you are obedient, then I take responsibility. I'm giving you the orders from the church. And as long as you are obedient to those orders, then you don't have anything to worry about your immortal soul. You're not committing any kind of sins. The church has ordered you to do it. You're perfectly fine.
Well,
Don't be
ouch.
feeling guilty because these monsters, have been eliminated. I'm sorry, the church is using you. And you know that it's using you, but you knew that in the beginning when you signed up.
And I want to be an instrument of the church.
Well, good. You should be an instrument. You should be like a little angel on earth, which is what you all are. Angels on earth, obedient to the church, unquestioning in your love and faith. Now, pass me the mashed potatoes.
Father, where are the images of our Lord?
I've been wondering about that myself. I think they took them all when they vacated, 30 years ago.
Why did they vacate again?
Monasteries come and go. The problem is financial problems. Monasteries have to sustain themselves. Everything runs on money, even monasteries. And if they don't have the money, then, or maybe there just wasn't enough people joining the monastery anymore. In any case, don't worry about that either. We'll see if we can get something. There's unfortunately no place inside town that can provide religious items. Maybe I was going to say, maybe I'll order something online. I can't do that yet. It's 1951. Maybe I'll shout really loud out the window and see if somebody brings me something. I'll see if I can send a letter to the archdiocese and see if they can send us some religious items.
You are right, Father. I will now know to know no more.
So, my boyos, our mission, and he pulls it out, is going to be probably your most dangerous one so far. Mostly because, you haven't really known the love of a woman, any of you in your lives. You've been pretty much dedicated to the Catholic Church. In this case, you're going to be going after a monster that is, in fact, acts like a woman. She calls herself Jane Richmond, and she lives in Talwick, Maine, with, we believe, someone that she calls a husband. Now, he's an innocent. He doesn't know what's going on at all. But this Jane Richmond, she comes from the old country, and there's not really a good name for what she is, but the closest would probably be vampire. She doesn't drink blood, but she sucks the life out of people. She's already been married 7 times, and each of her husbands has died of what appears to be heart failure, old age. In fact, her current husband is, I believe, if our records are correct, he's in his 40s, but he looks like he's in his 60s. She can change her appearance. In fact, she can change to look young or old. So she looks like she belongs with him. She stays looking his age. And somehow she's able to glamour him so that he doesn't know what's going on. But she's our next target. She lives in a small house at the top of a hill in Talwick, Maine. And because of their lifestyle, you're going to have to do this at that home. So it's going to be a tactical mess. We don't know the full extent of her powers. You need to be extremely careful.
I'm looking at the father. Is he weaving a tale?
What do you want to do? A psychology roll?
Yes.
Yeah, do a psychology roll.
This is 13 out of 50, so hard.
Okay.
Spend 3 if I.
No, I mean, he's basically, I presented it that way. He's reading this off of the paper.
Oh, okay.
So, and he hands you the paper so that you've got it in your hand. He says, so boys, I think you should get there a little bit earlier, because if you try to break into the house while they're asleep, there could be all sorts of problems, especially with the husband there. So maybe if you can manage to catch them, I'm sorry, I keep burping, between sundown and midnight, you could take care of the problem. I don't know that you're going to be able to avoid the husband entirely, but whatever you do, don't hurt him. He's not involved. He doesn't know that he is involved, but he's complete innocent. He doesn't know that she's this thing that's sucking his life out.
Yes, Father.
Now then, let me go see what you did to my room. You said you cleaned it. And he gets up and he walks in there. And maybe there's a moment of embarrassment on his face when he says that. But you did clean his room, so so it is clean when he gets there. And he says, "Well, you did a spick and span. Did you put the book back where it was?"
No, I left it on your desk.
Father, I'm quite fond of books myself. When you're finished with that one,
We'll see. It's not something that I shouldn't have had in the first place, but temptation, and he goes to his room, closes the door.
My faith in the Father is shaken.
We have explored our doubt to the limits of prudence. Now we must walk in faith.
Why? We don't even know. It could be anyone who is writing these letters.
it does not look like the Father's handwriting, does it?
Right. And there's sort of a regalia about the letter. It's not just a plain letter in a plain white envelope.
Some pomp to it.
It looks like
that,
it comes from some religious, from the Catholics.
I wouldn't actually know this, but is it written in like ecclesiastical Latin or something?
You haven't seen much more than just it's typewritten.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not written in Latin.
Who is this woman?
Presumably another one of Satan's servants on earth.
No. Past that. Past just calling her a demon or a monster. Who is she? How did she become the way she did?
Since when do we care about these things, Denny? We killed that man last night. We don't know anything about him either.
You have framed the question as if there would be an answer to who. This is not a who. This is some limb of Satan.
You're right.
This is a living puppet.
Even if the Father's indulging where he shouldn't, this feels just and correct.
It feels good. I even admit.
I have the tendency to be a little over critical in others when I don't examine my own faith enough. But I will make the statement that the Father's sins, given the context of our mission here on earth, seem rather mundane.
I agree. The times are changing, and Father's just changing with them, and maybe we can change too a little bit.
All right. Then we have a job to do.
Okay. So it's afternoon. What time do you want to leave to go on your mission?
You said early. Go early.
It's going to take you 2.5 hours to drive there. You want to be there between what? 7 and midnight.
Yeah, that sounds good. So leaving around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Something like that.
Okay. So just before you leave, of course, he comes out and he says, now, boys, he says, I want you to be extra special careful. I want you to come back safe and sound. Watch each other's backs. Make sure that you're all safe. And watch for that vampire woman to try and suck the life out of you. So he reassures you, but he also scares the shit out of you a little bit with that. All right. So you got your equipment. You get into the car. You're dressed in black. You start to drive. And after about an hour and a half or so drive, who's driving, by the way?
I'll drive.
Okay. Hank, after about an hour and a half of driving, you realize that Father O'Leary forgot to fill up the tank.
Are we out of gas completely, or is it?
No, but you're getting low.
All right, start looking for a gas station, fellas. We got to pull over.
Now, none of you effectively have any cash. There is a kind of a spot in between the two front seats where change tends to fall, and there's probably a few quarters in there. Of course, it's 1951, so gas doesn't cost much.
Mm-hmm. Well, if it'll get us to where we need to go anyway. So scrounge up some change.
So you pull into the gas station, and a young guy, probably 15 or 16 years out, dressed in a white uniform, the little white hat on his hand, his head, he comes out and he says, fill her up, mister.
Yes, thank you.
Do you want me to check your oil and your tire pressure?
No, that's not necessary. Just the gas, please.
Okay. So he starts doing that. There is a small convenience store next to the gas station.
We still have
We
some
don't-
change left.
Yeah, you probably
We don't typically do, we don't go to stores, right? That's not.
You can't remember if you ever have or haven't.
Well, if the father can, I can. I'm going to get some candy.
I just want to see what it's like.
All right.
Um,
So Denny's going to get up and go inside. What do you guys do? You're all going to go?
I'm going. Mike, are you coming?
yes.
Just for a look around.
The convenience store has that convenience store sort of smell. It's a smell you haven't smelled in a long time. Denny, as you walk in, do a spot hidden for me. You can all do spot hiddens for me.
Oh, 3.
13.
Okay.
Hard.
5.
If you passed, you all kind of notice, because it's kind of in the front window as you're walking in, there is a rack with paperback books in it, and you distinctly see that purple covered book, Strangers on a Train. Of course, theirs is new. Did you want to get anything? Did you want to buy anything with your change?
I want one of those candies, sir.
Sure, go ahead. It's a nickel.
I'll pay for it.
Okay.
Do I have enough to purchase these strangers on a train?
Sure. It's 10 cents for the book. You grab the book. Anything else, Hank?
No, I'm
There's
kind of just taking in the shop, looking probably like an idiot, like wondrous what all
Probably
this is.
restrooms too, if you guys need
Yeah.
to use the restrooms.
Make that 2 candies then.
Okay. All right. All right. So you make your purchases. You pay for your gasoline. The attendant is very friendly and polite to you as you guys get back into your car. what do you do when you get back in your car?
I'm opening up the candy.
I don't like where this road leads, Denny, but I will not stop you at a time like this.
You want some?
No.
How about you, Hank?
Oh, go on then. Yes, I will try one.
Okay.
All right,
Here.
so the two of you are going to have candy bars.
Yes.
I'll toss him the other candy bar because I bought two. Suit yourself, Michael.
Hank, before you start up the car, you take a bite of the candy bar. So does Denny. You suddenly, you know that tastes and smells can reawaken memories, and when you take it, you for a moment you can really remember that dream that you had. But Denny, you think you're in a big city. You remember hearing honking, like cars going by, and the sound of traffic. And this thing that's coming towards you with its arms outstretched, it doesn't seem quite so menacing as it did in your dream. But that's all that you sort of get. It's still not clear, but it's right there at the edge of your mind. Like if you could just reach out and grab that memory, you'd be able to remember where the hell you saw it and where it came from. You can't really remember the last time you were in a city, but something tells you that you were inside of a city at some point. Hank, your dream, you're in that room again. There's colored balls up above you, and there's lots and lots of little fingers or hands that are pulling on your clothes. And at first it's still alarming, but then it's kind of like, no, this is supposed to be a happy place. And once again, it's right on the edge, and you can't quite grab that feeling, that whatever it is that's there. And Michael, of course, you're stoic and the same as you are. Hank, are you going to continue to drive then?
Yes, I'll pull away. We'll head on.
All right.
It's very strange, eating this candy. It makes me almost remember something. I just can't put my finger on it.
I'll dangle the candy bar I have that I bit into in front of Michael. Last chance.
I'm reading. I'm looking at through the book.
Oh yeah.
Okay. As he's dangling the candy in front of my face, trying to evade the candy.
So you do a quick sort of glance through the book, see if you can figure out what it's about. You start to get the gist of the book. It's not a large novel. It's fairly well written. It's a thriller. It's definitely like a murder thriller sort of book, not the kind of thing that a priest should be reading, but kind of innocent enough, except that it has to do with a man who is very unhappy in his marriage, and rather than get a divorce from his wife, he's thinking about murdering her. And it sort of intrigues you that that's part of the story. And so you sort of skip ahead and stuff, and you get the name of the story, Strangers on a Train. He finds another man on the train who is also unhappy in his marriage and was trying to find a way to get rid of it. They decide that they will murder each other's wives. They're complete strangers. They have no motivation for murdering this person. It's the perfect crime because both of them will never be suspected for murdering somebody else. They can both be in some place when their wives are murdered so that they have perfect alibis. And that's the gist of the story. that you're reading, it doesn't reawaken any memories or anything, but it seems rather lurid. Certainly not an uplifting piece of literature.
I will discard this at the next opportunity.
Okay. So,
Hey, what about us?
I don't think this is proper for those of our station.
so you drive on, and all the while you're plagued by trying to grasp this memory that doesn't seem to be helping you at all. You find the property, and of course it's still light out probably when you find the property, and you're going to park nearby and do your usual thing of hiding in the bushes. So you park the car down the hill a ways, in a road that looks like very few people probably would ever traverse. You park it in such a way that it looks natural, like it should be parked there. And you start to get your equipment out and get it ready, although you're making sure that nobody is looking. You're rather secluded. I would like you to all do dex rolls and tell me what your scores are.
2.
25 out of 60 hard.
61 over 60.
So you failed. Okay. So, Hank, you've kind of set these thoughts aside because you've got a mission now. You've got to work on this. You know where the house is. You can almost see it up there. You know, there's gardens around it. It actually looks rather pretty, you know, flower gardens and trees. The big, pretty house with the lights just starting to come on because the sun's going down. Denny, the same. You see the same. You're getting your weapon out, your stuff, and getting it tactically suited. Michael, as you get out and you're putting the stuff in your pocket, you turn, the door of the car is open as you turn, and something catches on the edge of the door. And because you're in movement as your body is turning, something pops off of your shirt, your lapel, and you realize that your Magna Mater pin has popped off and it's lying on the ground over there. And as you turn and you look at it and you're like going to reach for it, you suddenly have this wave of nausea sort of flowing over your body. And you suddenly start to remember something. You start to remember that that room that you were in, you were at your friend's house, that all of these mannequin things are people. It's a birthday party, and your wife is bringing in the cake. That's the flaming thing in the air. You're not even Catholic. You were never in the war, and your mother and father are at the party. You aren't even an orphan. The other two, of course, you notice Michael suddenly looking very strange, but
Michael staggers around and then is on his knees with his hands on his temples. He's just closing his eyes and muttering to himself.
you guys do.
Mike, what's wrong?
Brother Michael?
I consider how my light was spent over this dark world and wide, and then one vision which is death to hide.
Michael.
Um,
Shake Michael, what is wrong?
Michael, you know Hank and Denny, but you haven't known them for very long.
I back away from both of them, and I want to feel around in my pocket for my switchblade and just have my hand on it.
It's there. I mean, you feel you can trust them because you.
Okay, I relax my hand from it.
But yeah, you're very confused all of a sudden. What do you guys want to do?
Are you good to do this mission, Mike?
Something is wrong. I am being perplexed to the extreme.
You need to sit this one out?
Perhaps.
He's as white as a sheet.
Why don't you let Denny and I take this one?
We're going to kill those monsters.
When Doyle says that to you, Michael, you suddenly can remember, like last night, the old man that you attacked. You remember the whole thing just like it happened, except that you didn't see an old man at all. You didn't see a monster at all. This was some old homeless guy, and he was just trying to get the hell away from you. And he screamed out in terror as you guys were attacking him. But he did hit you, only he didn't have any weapons. He just hit you with his hand. There's no claws. You murdered a completely innocent man. And then you remember the insect guy wasn't an insect guy either. He was some person. You've murdered people.
Hank and Denny.
What's going on?
We have done something horrible.
No, we haven't. They're monsters.
We are righteous in our mission.
I don't think you are remembering it correctly. I think that now I'm remembering it correctly. I am remembering it correctly now. Something is wrong now.
Can you do a psychology check on Michael? Kind of get a idea of his mental state. An 07. Now I'm rolling really well. Yes.
He seems genuinely terrified at this moment.
But not insane, not crazy.
I mean, what he's saying to you, it makes no sense, but at the same time, you yourselves have not been able to completely remember. Perhaps Michael, takes a step backwards away from you. Mm-hmm. And the fact is, he's stepping a foot closer to that pin lying on the ground. And when he does, he closes his eyes and sort of looks like he's going to swoon. And then he quickly moves away from the pin. And memory comes back.
Can I tackle Denny and try to physically remove his pin?
You can. He's got weapons. And he knows how to use them.
I will lunge at it.
All right, I'll try and dodge.
Okay, go ahead.
That is a failure because I got a 50 out of 30.
That is also a failure.
Okay. So he lunges forward towards you, Denny, and snatches towards your pin, but he doesn't connect, and you manage to sort of pull away as he gets
Denny,
to you.
Look at me.
What?
Remove. If there's ever been anything, if you'd ever listened to me once, listen to me now. Take the pin off your body.
All right, fine. We'll drop it.
Okay. You take the pin off and you drop it on the ground. And at first, nothing happens, but then you also feel this wave of nausea. And And it remains when you're close to the pin, but when you back away from the pin, you suddenly also start to remember you are on the streets of Boston and there are people around you, and the thing that was coming at you is your fiance, and she's just reaching out to throw her. You had a dinner date with her in the city, and she was just, greeting you, throwing her arms around you, gently kissing you. You were also a cop. You're a policeman. You weren't in the military, and you certainly were not an orphan. Hank, you're watching this all happen.
And the realizations that I'm seeing crossing their faces, I'm like, I'm going to take my pen off too.
Yeah. You toss your pen away. You had children. Your party with the little kids coming up and grabbing a hold of you. Daddy, Daddy. You had a whole life. It all comes rushing back. All of the orphan stuff, the military stuff, was all a lie. And you all can do sanity rolls because you do realize that you murdered at least 3 people in cold blood that had no defense. And you would never do anything like that. Success.
Pass.
Okay, success. You all can take 2 points of damage, but you guys are extremely angry.
I think I would do it again to the priest.
What did he do? What did he do to us? Does the priest wear a pin as well?
You've never seen the priest wearing a pin.
What did he do to us?
He took away control.
Our lives.
Yes, everything. I want to see my fiance again.
Let's get out of here. We need to talk to the father right now.
I think we need to tie him to a chair first. Because I don't want him to get away.
Their lives. I'm not killing another person, another innocent person.
All right. So you guys hop in the car. What do you do about the pins?
Run him over.
Yeah, let's crush him. Actually, our tires are going to pop. Let's bury him.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Do you actually go over to where the pins are? If you move towards the pins and get within a couple of feet, you get that wave of nausea and you sort of feel your memories moving away from you. And
just leave them there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think that is a good little spot to take a little break. 5-minute break. Be right back.
Going to some weird places. I like it.
Our programming is wearing off.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Let's beat this guy up.
Let's do it.
He's probably like a cultist. And it's just like the book. You use strangers to do your bidding.
Mm-hmm.
Got any good games this weekend besides Amberworth?
I've got 10 Candles tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
For the first time, get a feel for it before Necronomicon.
I see. I ran that for my lads back at home.
Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was a good experience. How many GMs do you have in your group?
None.
Oh, okay. I think it helps if you have a lot of GMs in your group because they know how
they take the narrative.
Yeah, and they take the narrative and they're usually good at improvising.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have a ton of hope for this. Like my friends are enthusiastic, but not really particularly good at role play, but
Hmm.
that they're interested in doing it. And I was like, yeah, why not? Let's
Well,
give it a
go
shot.
fast.
But yeah.
You should still run it at Necronomicon, regardless of what happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
What one?
10
10
candles. Necronomicon's like a month away. Like exactly
I
a
know.
month. That is crazy.
I know. I keep saying, I've still got time. And I'm like, I think I need to get my suitcase out and start packing it right
Yeah.
now. Okay. All right. So you hop back in the car and you're going to head back to the monastery.
Well, we have enough change left to buy some rope. Or do I know rope?
Well, yeah,
At the
I was going to
monastery?
say you might have rope, but you never tie the monsters up. You just dispatch them. So yeah,
I'm
I mean,
tying the priest up.
you might have enough money for rope. Although you don't know where there's like a hardware store. You actually don't know where anything is. You're just lucky you found the gas station.
Perhaps we can stop at the gas station and ask, maybe buy a little more candy. That was good.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that.
We'll just say whatever you want. It's
Okay.
a gas station, so maybe they have rope if that's what you want. So you get what you want. You voraciously eat some candy because now you can. And you remember the taste is so good.
I'm
Brings
not
back-
even Catholic.
Right. You get back about 10:30 p.m. as you pull into the thing. You can see there are lights on in the main rooms of the monastery as you pull up. So I'll say you get out of the car. What do you do?
Michael, Hank, I'm still the tactical planner here. So I think you should go in, Michael, before us. We'll approach from the front. You can try and get behind the good father and knock him out while we distract him.
Sounds like a good idea.
Hank and I will try and convince him that we lost you.
Yes, that sounds good. Something went wrong. We lost you. We came running back.
The vampire got him.
Yeah. Let's do that.
And I'll also hand Michael the rope.
Wait,
Okay.
Danny, we don't look like we've been in a fight. Let's muss ourselves up a bit.
Yeah,
All right.
dirty up my suit.
So who's going in first?
Michael's going to
Me
go
and-
around. Hank and
Michael
I
and
are going to just head straight in.
Okay.
I'm assuming there's multiple entrances into this monastery.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There's quite a few. All right. So Denny and Hank, you go through the front door. The lights are kind of low. You don't see Father O'Leary, but you can hear him. You're pretty sure he's in his room. You're pretty sure he is snoring away. Well, I mean, you can hear him snoring away. You can also see an empty bottle of whiskey next to the chair that he usually sits in. So he's probably drunk.
Okay.
You hear him
In that
snoring.
case, I'll
And then
sign to
you
Michael.
see Michael come in from the other direction.
Time up.
Yeah, I mean, we're three guys
Yeah, we can do this.
versus one knocked out guy. So yeah.
Go
Let's,
in, time up. Yeah.
does he have a lock on his door?
No, there's no locks.
Then we'll just go in there, surround him.
Okay, how are you
Time
going
up.
in?
Yeah.
So
move
you
quickly.
you
Kick
kick
down
open
the door, just go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kick down the door. You kick open the door, and it flies open, and makes a lot of racket. And you hear him in the bed, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell's going on?" He says, "Oh, Hank, Denny, you scared the living daylights out of me."
I don't think he has enough time to say that.
Yeah.
Well-
I'm grabbing his clothes by the front and
What are
shoving
you-
him in a chair.
What are you doing, Hank? Hank,
I punch him in the face.
what are you punch him in the face? Oh, what the hell are you doing, Denny? Why have you
Time up,
lost
Mike,
your
time up.
fucking minds?
So-called
second minds.
father, Sean O'Leary.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Michael,
What did
Denny,
the badges do?
Hanks, what are you doing? Did you
We
take
got rid
care
of the pins,
monster?
Father.
What are you saying?
We
You got rid of the pens. Oh, boys, what have you done? Oh,
What have you done?
oh, God, boys. You have no idea what you're even talking about. My God, where are the pens? You got rid of them.
Where are our
Oh,
families?
God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We're in such trouble now.
I'm slapping him
Oh,
across
Jesus.
the face.
Stop hitting me. God damn it.
Give us our
Jesus.
lives back.
Jesus, I don't. What the hell did you do, boys? Oh, no, you have no idea the kind of danger we're in now. Oh, my God.
We were
never
already in
Tell us
danger.
what's going
No.
on.
You
or we're
have
going
no
to kill you.
frickin' idea. Oh, God. Oh, no. We're all doomed. We're all dead now. You doomed us all. Oh, God. Ah. Ah. I suppose I'll explain it all to you. Denny, will you go put some coffee on?
No.
Put some goddamn coffee on. I'm as drunk as a skunk, and I need to wake up if I'm going to tell you the whole feckin' thing.
Michael does so.
You're a good boy, Michael. Oh, God. Just get away from me. Let me get up on my own. I'm not a man. You're going to hit me again. I suppose you hit people now. Christ.
You had us kill
Oh,
innocent people
You don't
and you
know.
want to complain about hitting?
Hank, you just don't know what you're saying. You don't have a clue what's
Well, then
really going on.
explain
here.
it to me.
I will. Just give me a few minutes to compose myself. I ain't gonna. And you can.
Wake up!
What
I
the hell
slap
were you
him.
gonna do it? Don't you hit me? You're gonna burn in hell for hitting the priest. Now, just calm yourselves down.
Lying's also a sin, Father. I slap him again.
He's like, strike me again.
And what?
He says, "No, get out of my way. I'll tell you everything, but you're not going to believe a word of it. You've broken the spell." And he looks extremely upset. He also looks kind of terrified. If you guys let him come in to the main room and sit down at the table, and Michael has made some coffee. Says, "Boys, the world's not the way you think it is. The world's not so simple. The world's not what you think at all. There's not even just one world. There's two worlds. How do I explain this to you in a way that you can understand? At night, when you go to sleep, sometimes you dream. Everybody dreams, but some people, they have much deeper dreams. They have dreams that lead them somewhere. There's a whole world, a dream world. It's like Earth. It's got cities and it's got people living in it, and it's got fields and animals and plants and trees and everything else, rivers and lakes. Except that it's older. It's far older. It's more like 400 years in the past. Oh, boys. And there are some people who are dreamers. I'm a dreamer. I'm able to cross over into that world, but I am a slave. And The man who has enslaved me is called the Archbishop. The Archbishop is he's the Archbishop of a city called Celephaeus. It's the main chief top kingdom in all of the Dreamlands. And the king who rules it is called Kuranis. The Archbishop is an evil man, and he is attempting to do a political coup on the king. He's enslaved me. There's nothing I can do about it. He will haunt my dreams and drive me to insanity if I ever disobey him. But he had me find you candidates, and he's the one who confused your minds with the amulets. He rewrote your histories. He gave you false identities because the people you've been killing are members of King Kuranis' court, and he needs to eliminate them before he can have his coup on the king. The problem is that he's going to know now tonight. He's going to know tonight that we failed. He knows all about you, all about your real lives, all about my life.
All right.
He's going to seek revenge on us. He's going to destroy our minds. He's going to fill our thoughts with nightmares, and we're going to scream every night in terror. And
Let's say we believe your paragraphs of insane ramblings. What would you want us to do now?
You've just destroyed us all. There's
Why
no
don't we
hope
kill him
anymore.
first?
I don't know where he is. I know his
Why
name.
us?
His name is Lewis Mahoney. Because you're random. You're just completely random people. There's no way to trace it back to him, Lewis Mahoney. But there might be 100 Mahonies in the. I don't know which one's him. In Celephaeus, he's Archbishop Anders Anselmonte. But in the real world, he's. You don't believe me. I didn't think you'd believe me. It doesn't matter anyway. We're all doomed. And he reaches over towards the sink and grabs the butcher knife. And when he does, he brings it back and he says, well, I'm not going to put up with it. And he rakes it across his throat and knocks his earphones off in the process. Rakes it across his throat and blood splatters out. And he says, he's not going to win as far as I'm concerned. And he's bleeding, so he's there he says, there's no way, no place you can hide. You're all doomed. There's no one. And he opens up his eyes, he says, except maybe Jane Richmond. And he bleeds out and dies. What do you guys want to do?
My God.
I kicked the body.
What the hell?
Lunacy.
He's a monster.
It's lunacy.
Maybe we should talk to the person that we were told to kill. If she can confirm the existence of this king, then we know that he just didn't make it up.
Right.
Quick, we need to go. The night is setting in.
I want to live to see my kids again.
I want to see my fiance.
Let's go.
Get everything. We're not coming back.
Yeah, I'm burning this place down.
Okay. You're going to burn the place down?
Yes. We're going to take our stuff, burn the place down.
Well, you got kerosene lanterns everywhere, so burning it down won't be that hard.
Yeah.
All right, let's speed off.
All right. Speed off. Back the way you came once again.
We'll park away from where we left the pins.
Well, another 2.5 hours. It's gonna be 1 o'clock in the morning as you pull up. I'm sorry, did you go to the same spot where you parked before, or
Different.
No, we don't
Okay.
want to.
you find another parking spot? You make your way up the hill to the house. It's dark. There is a porch light on, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning. All the lights are off.
I'll knock on the door. I'm using the knocker.
Okay. It takes a few minutes. You knock on the door. There's no reaction. You knock on it again, and if one of you is standing a little bit far away from the door, you see a light come on upstairs. And Denny, since you're next to the door, you can see through the little side windows on either side of the door. You can see like lights on the stairwell. And somebody coming down, but it's a man. And he's coming down the stairs. He's kind of in the pajamas. And he comes over and he looks out the little side windows and he sees you all there and he's like, yes, is there something you want?
We need to talk to Jane. This is an emergency.
Jane, who are you people?
It's a matter of life and death.
We believe she's in trouble.
How do you know my wife?
Look, are we going to sit around here all day or are we going to let us in?
I can call the police. That's what I can do.
You're going to endanger your wife, buddy. Not smart.
You say that, and he seems to look like that's a threat. You can see him start to move, and you hear a voice say, John, who is it? And he says, there's some crazy people at the front door. They're threatening us. And she says, what who? And she comes over and you see her look out the door, or out the little window.
Jane,
What do they want?
we know you're a dreamer. We need your help. Your life
You say
is in
that,
danger.
and you say that, and her eyes go wide, and she's like, John, this is nothing. Put the phone down. I do recognize these people from work. This has something to do with the project we were working on. Would you go? Don't worry. No. It's okay. Just go. Put some coffee on. And she, you hear her unlatch the door, and she opens up the door, and she looks out, and she goes, "Don't talk about this." She says, "Where are you from? Who are you?"
We know that the Archbishop, he's preparing a coup, and he's planning on assassinating all the other people in the court.
Come inside. And she says, "Oh, John," and her husband, he's like, I'm so sorry they frightened you. This is, and she's like, Mark,
Denny.
Denny, and
Michael.
Henry.
Michael and Henry. Yeah, they're friends from work. Yeah, put some coffee on. We'll be done with this shortly. It's very late. I'm surprised you guys came this late at night. And she gets him to go in the into the kitchen, and she's like, What are you saying? You seem to know a great deal about the other place."
We do not know a great deal. We are random people who seem to have been conscripted in whatever situation we know so little about, and we are looking for a way out of it.
Are you yourself streamers?
No, we were used by a dreamer.
You said something about
The Archbishop?
Anselmonte, the Archbishop.
Yes. His real name is Louis Mahoney, and he has a bone to pick with us, but we need to hit him first. He was planning on assassinating you, you know?
The Archbishop said something to me that made me suspicious of him last night. He knew I'd not go along with his plan. I'm fiercely loyal to the king. He threatened me in a ridiculously offhand manner, like Cardinal Richelieu of Three Musketeers. I think you're saying that. I mean, he expected me to be dead then.
Yes.
So he hired assassins to you. He hired
Yes,
you.
but we broke out of the spell, and we're just figuring things out right now.
Well, it's very likely that he now knows that the gig is up on his plans. It's treason, plain and simple. But only I can bring the charges against him because I'm a dreamer.
Yeah, whatever
But if
that means.
if he's practicing sorcery in this world, and he actually has managed to do so, you say he confused you. He made you believe
He
something.
made us his pawns.
But there's the thing. I need to get back as soon as possible. I was there just a few moments ago. You woke me up. I thought that he was looking at me with vulture eyes. Wait. Our one of the courtiers to King Karanis, he disappeared last night.
Was he older, an old man?
Well, not in our world, but I believe he was a homeless man.
Assuming several people have gone.
Cleveland
missing from your
Franco?
world. Yes. And there are
How
others
about-
too.
Yeah, the Viceroy, Ernest, Hyperion Hoffman on them. Oh, geez. So I'm the last one on the list. I am the chief of the King's Guard. If he eliminates me, I need to get back as soon as possible, but I just woke up. I doubt that I'll be able to get back there with all the adrenaline.
Well, if you're going to
in
have
my
coffee,
system.
you're not going to
Yeah,
go
I
to
mean,
bed at all.
What I need is drugs, downers, Barbies.
Can we knock her out?
No, knocking her out is not sleep.
Why don't we hit this archbishop in the real world?
We don't know where he is.
Do you know anything
I mean,
about
I'm
him?
surprised that he knew where I was.
How did he
Not
figure
really.
that one out?
I don't know. He must have been planning this for quite a long time. Most of us don't know who we are in the real world. And he certainly has been very secretive about that. We don't really suspect anything because why would we even
Was there
care?
a return address on the envelope with the letter?
No, it wasn't mailed.
You said, are we to understand you have nothing in your home to induce sleep then?
Maybe.
Do you have
Maybe
a phone
something
book?
in the medicine cabinet. The thing is that now I might, and she makes sure that her husband's not listening. I might have to overdose. I might have to take enough to ensure that I go to sleep. I might not survive, but I can save the king. The thing is that if he's able to do magic in the real world and enslave people, there's no reason to believe that you're the only three.
So we have to defend you
He
while you
could
dream?
he could be sending more assassins
We'll
here.
defend you and try to revive you if you end up overdosing. No guarantees.
Okay.
The husband comes back out and he's bringing coffee.
I'll take a cup.
And she says to him, John, I need to go upstairs for a moment and check something. Just keep our guests company. And she runs up and she's gone for a couple of minutes, and then she comes back down with a thing of pills. And when her husband's not looking, she takes a bunch of them.
Michael,
Right.
knock the husband out. He's just a liability. We don't want to get him hurt. Just shove him in a closet.
I'll do so.
Okay. You do it in such a way that you don't give him brain injuries. All right, we'll say that you managed to do that. So the night, she manages to fall asleep, and you can feel, if you feel her pulse, that it's getting slower, slower. Right about 4 a.m. or so, they have a very nice house. You've noticed they have a very nice house. You start to hear some odd noises coming from outside, noises that shouldn't be going on at 4 a.m.
Is it a two-story house?
Yeah, it's a two-story
I'd like
house.
to be on the second floor.
Okay.
And I'm
So-
pulling my gun out. So
Okay. So you're looking out and you notice, oh, do a spot hidden for me.
that's a 96 out of 75.
Well, you're all being tactical, so the other two can do spot hiddens for me.
Okay. 61. Let me check my character sheet.
A fail on my.
Yeah. Regular.
Okay. So Hank's the only one that sees it, but you think you see a shadow crossing the yard.
And I'm gesturing.
Okay.
Can't see it.
It happens before, the other two can see it, but you have reason to believe that somebody has approached the house. Everybody do a listen roll.
I'll spend the single point of luck to make it.
That's a 6. So yeah, that's a success.
I failed.
Okay. So those of you who passed, you can hear like a shotgun being clicked somewhere towards the back of the house.
Can I predict the entrance that they will go from and then prepare the garrote?
Sure. Yeah, you think the most tactical spot for them to come in would be the back door. As long as they thought the coast was clear. Of course, they see that there's lights on now. They know that you know. I would like you to do. Somebody raises up outside with the shotgun pointed in general at the house, but they're right outside the window. They could probably see your shadow and you can see them. What do you want to do?
I would like to be at the position where I would like to retreat to the position where it seems like they would need to reach her. They would need to pass through it, but I can remain unseen. Any
The
sort of
stairs is a good chokehold.
Okay. Do a luck roll.
That's a 13, so that's a success.
That's pretty good. All right. You manage to reposition yourself. And as you are repositioning yourself, there's a gunshot, a shotgun shell explodes. The back window shatters and it hits the wall, the plaster in the wall right near your head as you're moving. So it misses you and you take no points of damage, but you were shot at. What does Hank and Denny do? Hank, you hear this from downstairs.
Right.
I'm sorry, Denny, you hear this from downstairs.
Is it safe to say we have our guns? I don't know.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
probably got
We'd be
them.
ready for this.
home.
You
Yeah.
went and
Yeah,
got them
okay.
once she said you need to.
Right.
prepare.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna. They're still outside.
Right.
I'm gonna go around the back of the house and try to shoot them.
Okay. Do a spot hidden roll.
No.
Okay. So you're moving around the back of the house, but you can't see any of them. You can't see where he or they are hiding because it's dark outside. Denny, do a luck roll for me.
Okay. 35 out of 36.
Very nice. Okay. As you are, I assume that, are you going to move tactically downstairs?
I was actually hoping that. So the building, it's 2-story. Is
Right,
there
it's a
a
house.
is there an overhang where I can get on top of the roof of the first floor?
Yeah, there's probably, I mean, outside of the windows, there's probably balconies.
Yeah, I want to do that because they wouldn't predict I'd do that.
Okay.
And hopefully I get a different angle.
Well, I'll say it because you wouldn't have thought of it at the moment, but you're starting to move closer to dawn. So the sky is being lit up. If you try to climb up onto the roof, if
Mhm.
they're looking in that direction, they'll see your shadow immediately
Okay.
on the roof. So it might not be safe to do exactly that.
In that case, I am going to back up Hank.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Hank, what were you doing?
I'd gone around the back and
You'd gone around the
failed
back.
to see them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Denny. So are you then coming downstairs?
Yeah, I'm
Or you're
coming down the stairs.
Okay. You're coming down the stairs. There is a wall switch on the wall that seems it seems obvious what it is, though I don't exactly know how it seems obvious, but it would turn on the yard lights if you hit it. What was that?
I'd like to go for that then.
Okay.
And then
You-
I'm going to immediately hit the deck as soon as I.
Okay. You hit
Flip it.
that. There's yard lights throughout the gardens and everything. They all come up. Hank, you're standing there. You're suddenly illuminated. But at the same time, the two guys that are standing in the backyard
Also
are also illuminated.
Yep.
What did you want to do?
I'll take a shot at him.
Okay, go ahead. They're going to try to dodge.
As a side comment, when I see Denny coming down the stairs, I think we're shifting to a more aggressive strategy. So I'll run out to try to the yard.
Okay.
Yep. I can make it a hard, but regular success.
Yeah,
I'm
I
always-
got a 75, so they
Okay.
don't realize
All
that
right.
you're standing there.
That's 46.
What are you firing, by the way?
Oh, shotgun. I'm probably not at a great range.
No, but I'd say you're within 50 feet.
Okay.
I'd also say that they're tactically near each other, so you might hit them both.
Okay.
Do your damage roll.
Right. For 50 feet with the shotgun, because there's like 3 different damage levels depending on how
Uh-huh.
close you are. It says 10, 20, 50, but I wasn't sure what the measurement.
I think those are
is.
yards, actually.
Okay. Okay.
So you're actually fairly close with the shotgun.
Oh God, that's 20 damage. 46.
Oh my God.
So you hit both of them pretty badly. They almost do the whole flip backwards as you hit them. The boom rings out, of course. One boom has already rang out. There's no houses directly next door, but there are down the hill. So those lights have probably come on.
Oh yeah.
And then there's one guy who comes through the back door. As Denny, you're getting to the bottom of the stairs. He's got a handgun in his hand, but and he looks like he's going to shoot in your direction. What are you going to do?
Oh, how close am I to him?
You're probably 15 feet.
15 feet? I'm going to
Yeah.
dive for cover.
Okay. You hear him pull back the handle on the thing, and then suddenly he doesn't do anything. He stands there, and you hear him go, "What the fuck?"
Drop the gun.
Boom, you hear the gun hit the floor.
I think it worked.
All of you, after a few moments, that this one guy, he's like, "Where the hell am I?" the hell are you people? Where the hell am I?
I look to Denny and I just go,
I think we see
More
if
random
she wakes up and then leave.
Yeah.
Because the police are probably coming. And then we live our lives.
Do you guys wait to see if she wakes up?
Yes.
I'd say about, well, the police are definitely going to be coming into this neighborhood. This is a wealthy neighborhood.
Mhm.
Just hide the shotgun.
There are 2 dead bodies in the backyard in the garden with shotgun explosion. This guy who came in the house, at some point, he just like turns and runs for his life because he doesn't know what the hell is going on. You do notice that he has a little pen on him as he runs away.
Right.
Apparently it's not working any longer. You guys gonna wait for the police?
No, I'm gonna
No,
run.
it's-
She's
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah,
she's
yeah.
this is her house. We can always come back or watch.
Right.
Fine.
Right.
Time for freedom.
So I'll just give you like an epilogue. The police are baffled by the invasion, a home invasion, they call it. The husband is he's found in the closet, tied up and kicking. He describes the 3 of you, but he said there were people that worked with my wife. She unfortunately dies of the overdose. And an investigation begins. But you guys have clear visions of where your lives were. And so you kind of return to your lives. Now, there's some difficulty there because you've been missing for at least 3 weeks. And nobody knows where you've been or anything. So you each have to come up with some excuse as to where you were. And everything goes back to normal, except that you might be a little bit mentally damaged from the events of that experience. And that is the end of the story.
Very good.
You were the good boys.
Is there any part of the story we did not learn about?
I don't think so. I think you got
Very
it.
much. It's good.
No, I think you got everything
Yeah.
in there.
That was really
I
good.
like that.
Yeah,
That's a
that's good.
one. Yeah.
that was fun.
Well, let me go ahead and finish it up and we can talk about it. Our players included Alex Sun, Chase Kapner, and Holly Buto with myself as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.